acceptance and change, being and becoming, the paradox of personal transformation. What's up, everyone? My name is Morcie. I'm here as a spiritual teacher and guide. And today's topic is something that has been on my mind for a bit. I find that especially on a channel like this, where we're all going through a spiritual awakening, each of us having our own unique experience, simultaneously tapping into the same aspect of reality. This message is a powerful message to provide an expanded understanding of who we are, as well as deepening our understanding of who we are, and even who we are not. Understand the paradox of honoring who we are and honoring who we're not. It's crazy. I find that on this journey of being a spiritual teacher and honoring my purpose here through mentoring others and sharing powerful messages, there's two dimensions of being that constantly arise, where I have to learn how to be present with the message and be present with what needs to be shared. Honoring the aspect of teaching that requires clear understanding, expression, analysis, and simultaneously that aspect of life that is beyond an analysis. It's beyond expression, it's beyond words. Honoring both. If anyone here is familiar with the book A Course in Miracles, it taps into the horizontal and vertical dimensions of life. I was introduced to these phrases, these words that helped me understand this paradox of personal transformation, this paradox that often happens within spiritual awakening. I've also learned this from my favorite spiritual teacher, Eckhart Tolle. And so through being exposed to this and simultaneously inviting more of this awareness to my life, it's brought me here to share this message with you. Acceptance and change, the paradox of personal transformation. Balancing being and becoming. Being and becoming, right? So, the horizontal dimension, it symbolizes the earthly plane. It symbolizes the ever-changing aspect of life, what's temporary in life. It symbolizes the physical world. It symbolizes growth. It symbolizes development, transformation, right? The horizontal dimension. Makes sense? So when we talk about change, that's the energy of the horizontal dimension. When we talk about waking up every day and recognizing what you can do different to enhance your state of being, the way you think, act, and feel, that is that horizontal dimension. Often within this horizontal dimension, what resides is separation, conflict, dichotomy. What resides within here is when we're simultaneously, if we find ourselves to focus on this horizontal dimension, or we can say the physical world, the world of form, we might get too caught up in material concerns, too caught up in certain relationships, too caught up in physical forms, right? In the horizontal dimension, time is linear, right? And so often before an awakening, all that we are consciously aware of is this horizontal dimension, right? This horizontal dimension is the plane where when I speak and there's words, it all makes sense. This is where the mind exists. The mind understands, the mind analyzes. All right. Now we have the vertical dimension. This dimension is beyond time. This dimension is timeless. This is the dimension of being. The vertical dimension is the dimension of being, of acceptance, whereas the horizontal dimension is a dimension of becoming, of change. And so in this vertical dimension, right, this is the opening towards presence, right? We can call it the spiritual or the eternal plane. Once again, it transcends space, it transcends time, it transcends the physical. If ever you hear me share the phrase, you are beyond the mind, you are beyond thought, you are beyond emotion, this is a pointer towards presence. This is a pointer towards the vertical dimension. And so the more we shift our awareness towards this vertical dimension, right, this is when we begin to awaken. Recognizing that, and awaken, and simultaneously this ego, it dissolves a false sense of self, right? That sense of self that believes it's separate from the whole. That false sense of self that is only familiar with the horizontal dimension. It begins to shift and recognize the vertical dimension. Recognize that it's just awareness, right? The ego dissolves, it's just awareness. We're recognizing oneness, right? So within the vertical dimension is the awareness of oneness. In the horizontal dimension, there's separation, right? Separation can simply be the fact that my personality is different than yours. I am a different being than you. Everywhere we look, there is separation, right? This is a state of consciousness where it's recognized. Some may say, this is a form of illusion, right? This is a way that many will express the state of consciousness in the horizontal dimension. But the more we shift to the vertical dimension, we begin to recognize, right, both. We begin to recognize oneness, that all is one. All of life is interconnected and interdependent. We become more aware of it. We begin to awaken. So when it comes to acceptance and change, right, acceptance is being, honoring this moment as it is. Honoring the timeless, unchanging nature of life. So when I share the phrase remain rooted in being, this is what I mean, that awareness of the vertical dimension, that acceptance of now, it allows us to remain calm and alert and aware in this moment. Pausing peacefully, right? A practice, if you're familiar with my teachings, pausing, peaceful pauses. It's a brief moment, a brief intentional moment of calm, alert, awareness. And in this space, what it does is it pulls you out of being so absorbed in the horizontal dimension, so absorbed in becoming, so absorbed in form. And it points you towards being. It points you towards the vertical dimension, formless, right? So you see, we're learning a bit. If you're unfamiliar with this, I'd like to share with you these phrases. Once again, they're phrases. Nothing to grasp and try to hold on. They're stepping stones, right? When we speak about this vertical dimension, this is the plane. This is the state of consciousness where it is beyond words. So as we awaken, we're learning not to get attached to meaning, not to get attached to logic. Ultimately, right, we're deepening our awareness. So it's learning how to balance the acceptance of the now, the present moment, remaining grounded in the moment. We are connecting to, one may say, a higher self, a deeper self, a self that is beyond the mind. That is acceptance, a powerful part of personal transformation. And if you're here, you're watching this video, you are going through a spiritual awakening. This is what we are awakening to once again. Now, change. Change is the honoring of the ever-changing nature of life, right? This represents our growth, our development, our transformation. This represents evolution and learning. It represents challenges that we might experience here. We must honor that too. We do feel that. We do experience that. We do. This will arise through thoughts that come into our mind, emotions, right? The horizontal is all about the world of form, right? Thoughts and emotions, they are all, it's form as well. It's form as well. And so when you come here on this channel, I begin to share with you how to work and dance with our thoughts and emotions, because it's all a part of experiencing life itself. On one plane, you are life, and on another, you are experiencing life. But ultimately, beyond all, I mean, you are life. You are the present moment. You are the flow. Sometimes I chat about the true self. The true self. I had a question on here about the true self. A question in the community section. I asked it. And I recognize, right, in my mind as one who's here to teach you all and see a perspective where I can do my best to share and point you all towards the present moment. I recognize that there are some who recognize the true self on the vertical dimension and some on the horizontal, right? One may say the true self is that which is beyond personality, beyond ego, oneness, that which is inseparable from life itself, the true self. Or one may say the true self is your authentic self, the way you personally and uniquely engage with the physical world, honoring it, beginning to heal from the past. That's what happened in the vertical dimension. We're healing from the past. We're healing. The vertical dimension, right? We don't need to heal. We already are. That is the I am. That's it. I am. Being. There's nothing you need to add after I am. See, as we awaken spiritually, we recognize I am. Being. And what this does is it takes all of this weight and pressure off of the becoming. It allows us to play in the world of form, not take problems so seriously. This is when we find ourselves unhappy. We're taking problems so seriously. We're taking that which arises in this horizontal dimension. It's being taken personally. It's being taken seriously. We no longer are we rooted in being, grounded in the present moment. Get too absorbed in this false sense of self, ego. We take our challenges too personally. This is where I come to tell you that we came here to experience this separation. We came here to experience every spectrum of emotions, from frustration to sadness to happiness and bliss. That's what we came here for. And ultimately, when we begin to value one over the other, that's when we begin to experience this discontent, that unhappiness. And my inner practice of whenever I recognize this discontent, I choose to meet it with grace instead of run away from it. It's only when we try to avoid or run away or we say, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. I'm resisting the moment. Oh no, not good. Instead, just meet it. Meet the resistance. Experience it. That's what we came here for. That's how I see it, right? I like to share that on this journey of learning how to balance this acceptance and change, being and becoming, the formless and form. I learned to recognize, I lost my train of thought. All right, well, I guess it'll come back. Anywho, I'm learning to recognize and ultimately share this, and I'll continue to share this throughout the entire, throughout this the course of this. So let me know in the comment section if this gave you expanded awareness, and simultaneously if it helped you recognize how to honor, both being and becoming. Not to try and say that one is bad and one is good, right? Okay, what I wanted to share just came back to me. I saw this quote the other day, and it said something along the lines of, once spirituality becomes a philosophy, it loses its essence. Something along the lines of that. That's the meaning I got from it. All of which I share here. This is not philosophy. These are not rules. This is not dogma. This is something that you become aware of, and all I am doing is expressing an observation. There is no right or wrong on your spiritual journey. There is no good or bad. All of this is awareness. When I chat about being an observation of thoughts and emotions, a popular topic on this channel, when I chat about being in observation and noticing emotions, what you'll witness is the rising and falling of form, and what remains the same is awareness. What remains the same is the vertical dimension. This is why in every single one of my videos I will always mention, right, being identified with the mind, identified with form. This is all just awareness. This is not a philosophy. These are not rules. You don't need to follow it, and you don't need to believe me. You don't. This is something that I was drawn to, and I found that throughout my awakening, the shift in consciousness, awareness of how I am life itself. We are life itself. This is how I've learned to express it. Honoring I am. Honoring presence and honoring this I am, the deeper non-conceptual aspect, what is deeper than the personality, what is, one may say, the transcended self. In Buddhism, they say the no self. In honoring that, we play, we have fun, we're confident, we're secure, we don't doubt ourselves. And even when you do find yourself doubting yourself, guess what? Experience the doubt. Experience the insecurity. Experience it. Kind of get the grip here. Check out my free ebook, Peaceful Pauses, The Calm Beyond the Overstimulated Mind. If you're here and you made it to the end of this entire video, then you recognize the calm beyond the overstimulated mind. Beyond, once again, the peaceful pause is pointing you beyond, shifting you away from the horizontal, attachment to the horizontal, and pointing you towards the vertical, to your truest essence. These peaceful pauses, they do just that. A reminder that all it takes is a pause to transcend thought. I encourage you to check out that ebook where I share with you this inner practice of peaceful pausing, and I balance it with the outer practice of grounding in the present moment, taking one conscious breath, scanning your body, gratitude, heart-centeredness, connecting with nature. I mix these two. Ultimately, I'm showing you this balance between acceptance and change. And if you enjoy that ebook, I highly encourage you to register for my course. It's a powerful course. I take you along this journey of deepening into stillness, of honoring stillness, silence, and spaciousness, becoming aware of your truest essence beyond form, and recognizing that life is a meditation. If you enjoyed this message, this course is for you. I encourage you that in this moment of your spiritual awakening, prioritize your state of consciousness. Prioritize your state of peace. So you're in this world, you're not of this world. You're in this horizontal dimension, but you're not absorbed in it. You're not absorbed in the world of form, not attached to it, because you are rooted in being. This course is meant to continuously remind you of who you are. And after this course, you will find that life is a meditation and it's not difficult. It is not hard. You're beyond that idea of difficulty. I feel honored to share this with you. Once again, honor both change and acceptance. Honor your true self, your truest essence. Honor your authentic self. We're here to enjoy life, every aspect of life, to experience and to witness experience itself. My name is Morcie. I'm sending you peace. I'm sending you love, wholeness.